Judging from the article, you seem to be a very free-thinking individual, somebody that can think very critically.
Thank you.
So, in your opinion, why do you think people are so unenthusiastically supporting Hillary Clinton? Because we know that she's, we've seen the unfavorable numbers. We know that a lot of people feel that she's untrustworthy, that she's a corporate shill, and that if she does become president, that she will enact just, incremental changes. So why do you think so many people are comfortable with voting for a candidate like that?
That's a good question. I think obviously the stated reason is about protecting the rights of minorities. Honestly, though, these are the people who are telling Stein voters that we're privileged, and they're telling us that and not even just privilege, white privilege, they're saying. But the majority of the people I know personally, I mean, this is anecdotal. I don't know, maybe you can weigh in on what the people that you know as well. The majority of the people that I know who are voting for Jill Stein, and I mean, there aren't that many, but they're mostly minorities. So it kind of becomes like, well, how are you protecting the rights of minorities when you're marginalizing us, pretending that we don't even exist? Those of us who are voting for Jill Stein, you're protecting us by pretending that we don't exist, like we don't get a voice in that. So it's that kind of thing where it's like flips the script a little bit. And I think that they do that maybe subconsciously. I mean, I know a lot of people who are voting for Hillary Clinton who I think are generally good people. I've even said, open up conversations with them that I think that they're good people. I think they're generally smart people. There's been a lot of manipulation, and I think that it's just been rammed down our throats so much by corporate media that Hillary Clinton is the only way to being saved. And most people don't think too much about that. And it's kind of this phenomenon where you talk about like how she's a war hawk, even like John Oliver, right? And all of the celebrity, I think like Bill Maher has also said it. They'll throw out, in their list, they always give that list at the end of like whatever smear piece they're doing against Jill Stein, where they say, well, Hillary's not perfect. She's this and that, and she's a war hawk, and she's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, slow down for a second, because why are you gonna say she's a war hawk and act like you don't know what that means to be a war hawk? It means she's literally starting wars. She's literally killing thousands of people with her policies, and she's not even in office yet. So if that's not enough to dissuade you, I mean, I truly don't know what it is. But then there's, people don't understand what's happening in the Middle East either. So I think that goes a long way to kind of shuttering people from seeing. It's like horses, they have those like blinders on so that they can't. And it's the same exact thing.
I like to refer to it as ostrich politics. People do just have their heads in the sands, and they're not really looking at who she really is. It's well documented, but they choose to just see what the corporate media is feeding them, what these establishment politicians are feeding them. To your point about the privileged argument, we've talked about that a number of times, and this is just another smear campaign, because they said the same thing about Bernie Sanders. There was that hashtag Bernie made me white. And, here in South Carolina, I saw many people of color that were supporting Bernie Sanders, and talking with many people of color on social media as well that supported Bernie Sanders. So like I said, it was just an effort to discredit him, and they're using that same tactic to do the same thing to Jill.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that goes a long way toward making people not see it. It's just, I mean, like I said, the social pressure in this situation is so intense. And I don't know if people realize how much they're caving to it, if they think they've just been persuaded because it was a good argument, but they haven't. It's because they're being bullied.